I'm trying to touch the States this time. 2021. Yeah, show him I can still rap though. Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the back like here I go again. Outside says the chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma make, keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions. I'm talking Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy Amazon. I been winning, I'm like, why me? I heard these labels wanna buy me. I don't need you, boo, I style me. I roll G's and they burn me. Now I'm on my game, nothing is the same. Who am I to blame? Money made me change. Cardi in my ring when I'm switching lanes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Now I got a buck for all those rainy days. Ain't have a day off in like 80 days. I got hustles in like 80 ways.
All right, morning all. Hope we are well. Happy Friday. It's Friday indeed. Let me just get everything set up here. A little bit rushed. What do I need? I need that. I need that. I need. Yeah, that should be good actually. How are you all doing? We'll let a few more people come in before starting. Good morning, good morning. All right. So GJ, let's have a look at GJ here. A little bit of a range where we're at here, which is nice. We do have some news today here. Retail sales at 11 o'clock. So we'll see what happens. It's not really too much. Welcome, welcome. It's not really too big of a news event, so I don't expect a huge move. Maybe just a spike if anything. But we'll go and start from the daily and have a look at how the daily closed. So yesterday we did end up having that continuation down. We failed to break up during the session. We had some, now this is what I was talking about yesterday. Yesterday we did in the session go up, right? So there was a guy yesterday who took buys here and I told him, and he was holding stops. If you guys remember, whoever's here, he was holding stops below this candle low, and I said it's very early to enter trades around here. If you're gonna, he was holding stops here. I said, if you're gonna hold this trade, you need to hold stops below here and give it time. And you see exactly what happened is that pre-London, we got this pullback here, which pulled back to these lows here. And if his stops was here, he would have been fine. And that's a common mistake I see in the market is people hold stops too close. They get stopped up, but the idea eventually plays out. But it took a lot of time for the idea to play out. And this is like not really valuable to trade, right? Because if you're trading in this zone, you have to hold drawdown and holding a trade just to get 17 pips or something. You know what I mean? So very, very low volume yesterday. And just going to refresh my charts here. They seem to be a bit lagged. Just going to refresh it. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so the analysis for today, because that's the first thing we need to do, is the daily did end up closing bearish here. Current daily is creating a top wick. If we do flip, if the daily does flip and break the low, I think we can see some continuation to the downside, some heavy continuation. 4 hour, two 4 hour candles are closing bullish right? And we have a weak bullish candle here. But what's important about this 4-hour candle close is that we're closing above this 4-hour support that we had. So that gives us a lot of information. And as long as we're remaining above this support, buys can make sense for the session. It's another mixed session again. But what we're basically doing is, you can see we're not heavily breaking down and we're not heavily breaking back up. We're kind of just slowly trickling down. We try in the session we go up, and then New York session reversed. So we'll see what happens today if we do end up reversing or if we continue down. But definitely breaking these 4-hour lows based on the daily candle, I do see sells making sense. And we could look to sell to this 4-hour support, but that's target, right? Anywhere in this support is going to be target here. So on the 1-hour time frame, we can adjust this just so we know, because it's going to only be relevant here like this. We obviously have this support here. As long as we're respecting above this high is a possibility for buys, right? So it's quite simple plan today. We have another support here, but I want to know where this 4-hour support is. So I'm going to mark this as another 4-hour support. All right. So this is technically, let me have a look. This is where it gets a little bit messy. Let me move this back to here so I know where that support is. See if it has on, what's its relevance. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it on there just to know where the support is. Even though it's messy and in the middle of the candles, I want to know. There's no sound. Are you sure? No, I think there's sound. Yeah, everything's working. As far as I know, there is sound. Let me know, guys, in the chat if you do hear. If you don't hear, that's a bit weird. Okay, no worries, man. Thanks. So yeah, I mean, if you want to sell, sells below here a little bit early, but maybe could make sense. But you have to worry about this 4-hour support. It's only 11 pip range, so I think sells below here is going to be the best, right? So this we're going to also mark as a 30. All right. And yeah, so I think potentially we need to wait and see what happens, but breaking the 4-hour lows around this area here can give you some options towards some downside here. And then I mean, this week has been quite tough. Every single day when we've come to the market, there's been not very a clear direction. It's always been either a mixed session where you can argue both sells and buys. There's not been clear direction. So it's quite difficult to explain, and sometimes we have that, right? Sometimes we have that, but this is how you have to trade in those conditions. I don't like to do it because you're getting UWE. What's UWE, man? Not sure what UWE is. You know, and sometimes it's tough like that, right? Sometimes it's tough where we have daily candles closing bearish, but session candles are closing bullish. Because remember, in London session, we're only trading one 4-hour candle, right? So if we're trading one 4-hour candle, that means that we could both take buys, you know, and then New York can reverse and continue to trend for sells. But that's why I'm giving two options these days, because we are having those type of opportunities here, right? So if we're below here, we have a range of, to these wicks, 9 pips, and to this lows, 28 pips. So tradable range for sure. But as long as we're respecting this zone, remember we have news at, you know, in around 40 minutes here. If we get a trade before news, maybe we can look for buys above this zone here. Try to get a quick breakout. And that would be the plan with that. For buys, right? This 4-hour support. Let me just see. I'll just leave it there. But yeah, possibility for buys above here maybe. We'll see how that goes. I just don't want to be in a position before news, right? That's, if it's too close to news, then we have an issue, right? And for gold today, let's have a look at gold. Daily candle did end up closing doji here basically. New candle has no top wick, just drove down here. If we're gonna remark this similar to this, similar here again, we're getting similar action. 4-hour candles is closing bearish again. Selling the lows is always gonna be tough. So let's remove drawings. Let's do this fresh here. So fresh analysis for today. We have this daily zone we need to care about. I think that will be target for today. Max target will be this daily support here at 1817. On the 4-hour, we are trading at, I think this wick is, we have already tested it. This is a support here. This is our 4-hour support, which we need to remain below. 4-hour support. And when you are trending, you don't need much lines, right? And then this will be your resistance up here. Right, and we'll see what we have on lower time frame. 4-hour resistance, right? And with that, we can go on the 1-hour. We see what information we have on the 1-hour. 1-hour is kind of, this wick is a big issue, right? So let's see what we have here. We have a support around this zone. Let me just mark this and see what this is. Any relevance? Yeah, this is exactly where we tapped. So this is going to be your new resistance, and this is possible rejection. Closing below here is going to be, you can see the volume is starting to die down. We're not getting the same moves in Asian, but we're out of this yesterday's range, right? We're out of yesterday's range. So what I need to see here is I need to either see a little bit tough here. Selling lows has always been a big issue, right? Selling lows, you can see how selling lows reversed. Maybe we get a reversal, but if this does reverse and starts to reject, then that could be a good option to sell towards the downside, right? But selling the lows, I wouldn't recommend unless we're closer to London and we have more volume, right? If we're closer to London and have more volume, then it could be an option, right? And that's it. Yeah, that's a simple plan today. Very simple plan. And we'll see what we get. If you guys have any question, let me know. For news today, we only have Gbpjpy news at 11. Retail sales, they are expecting, they got worse. Previous 5, forecast 0.5. The forecast now is to get minus 0.3 and previous is minus 0.1. That's the news. Anything else we have? No, we have nothing else. So pretty clean. I'm not too worried about this retail sales news. It doesn't always make the biggest of impacts, but that doesn't always mean that we won't see big moves in the chart, right? So we have to be careful. We can't just ignore it. We don't want it to slip our accounts and ruin our week, right? It's Friday. Don't let it ruin your week. So yeah, it's not the easiest week here to trade on GJ, especially in this range. You have to take very complicated entries here because you can see what's been happening is in our session, we've been heading up in like London session, New York reverses, London session. Look at this, London session heads up. This was London session. Then post London session, we come back, we make a support, and then New York reverses. Then Asian session here around London close, we start reversing again. And then what ends up happening, we reject the resistance and come down. You know, now we range. Yesterday was basically a range. We did nothing. New York came in, started to reverse price to the downside. We saw in Asian session this continue. And now again, London session, we create a support. So it's very, very messy here. You know, there's no defined trend. We're basically bouncing between zones and it's slowly going down. But the problem is, this is where a lot of people make mistakes, right? A lot of people make mistakes and they tell themselves, okay, great, yeah, we're going down, that means I should take sells. Yeah, but the problem is like if you took sells yesterday, you would be stuck in this pullback here, right? You would have been stuck all the way in this pullback. So then that would be an issue for taking sells. So if we're going to take sells today, we need to wait to get below these lows here, which will also be the 4-hour low. Yeah, exactly. If we get above the 4-hour highs, if we start breaking the 4-hour highs, there might be an opportunity to take buys. But that doesn't mean I'm bullish on higher time frames, which I am on very high time frames, but that doesn't mean like I expect price to completely go and push through the screen, which is still possible. But all I'm saying is it makes sense for a session trade, right? So as a trader, sometimes we have to be able to make conditions in order for us to find trades within the session. And I see an opportunity for that above these highs, preferably above this kind of zone right here. I prefer to see possible buys up to here. Or there's going to be easy sells if we start breaking the 4-hour low. I think we can start to see sells and come down here. But, you know, this is again another mix session. I hate to say buys and sells, but yeah, it's a little bit of a mixed session here. And we have to trade accordingly, right? Like normally when you have a clear bias, it's only buys or only sells. I won't be looking for buys and sells, but I have an argument for both cases here in case, you know, we do play one of them out, you know. But based off a session, we are more bullish than bearish based off this support closing, right? Based on this support, this 4-hour closing back into this range, the next 4-hour also closing back into this range, there's no reason why we don't fill the range, right? That makes most sense. That's why I'm inclined to buy, but I know that this daily candle closed bearish for the second. This is a second daily candle closing bearish. And on top of that, 4-hour candle, if it starts breaking the low, we might see this continue down to the 4-hour support. Because we're basically ranging, right? Morning, guys. Hello, Christian. Good morning. So that is why you can possibly argue those two scenarios right there, right? Because it makes it tough. If you look, we're not really going anywhere, right? And if you view this without any drawings, which is something nice to do, you know, make it simple, right? We are trading, you know, we close below this support here like this. All right, that's the first thing that pops up in your eyes. 2 daily candle closes bearish. There's still possibility for sells. If we go on a line chart as well to make it even simpler, you know, you can see how the line chart is forming. So higher time frame still looks bullish. And we're just in a consolidation. But there is the possibility in session to take buys or sells, right? All good, thanks, brother. Yourself? So 1 minute till this candle closes here. If this candle closes below this zone, what do we have? 16 pips. 26. We'll see. It'll break the low probability. That doesn't make sense. It will break the low probability, does not make sense. No, sometimes I just show it just to, you know, clear up basically your eyes, right? We can put a lot of lines. Lines is something we put on the chart. It's not what the chart actually shows. That's something that we see on the chart and we add ourselves. So if we see lines on the chart, we can add them, and sometimes using a line chart just makes it plain and simple, right? Just to see what's going on. All right, so we have a closure here. 15 did not close below this support. That is not in my rules to take a trade if it didn't close below the support. So if you guys are going to take this trade, that is your choice here. And, you know, for me, it's not really in my books until we get a closure. Do you reckon since price is now holding lower resistance on the 4-hour time frame, then buys only begin to make sense with at least a 4-hour close above the most Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm populating the idea for sells. I think if we start breaking the 4-hour high, if we reject this zone now and break the 4-hour high, we could see some more upside. But based on 2 daily closes, closing bearish, 4-hour now weak bullish, and we start breaking the lows, there's a possibility for sells here, right? Just need to be careful of news in 30 minutes. Otherwise from that, yeah, exactly, shorts do make sense, and that is why I'm populating the idea of shorts. I was waiting for a 15-minute close below here, and I would have taken shorts, but we didn't close below. If you take this, you have to take it impulsively. It's okay. I mean, it's a bit early, so you could consider taking at the break of this 4-hour low. I'd prefer to see at least a lower time frame close here and potentially take the trade, right? If this did close below, it gives you a lot more confidence, because now you don't know if this wick here is going to be a rejection or what. So we need to see, we need more information here. If you guys want to listen, for me, I'm in no rush. It's Friday, week has been good trading. I'm in no, I don't mind missing this move towards the downside. It's not going to bother me, right? Because I didn't get a close below. If I got a close below here, yeah, that would change things. I'll probably enter at the break of the lows, stop above this candle high, and hold the trade. But I'm very well aware, since we're breaking the 4-hour lows here, we can end up pushing down. So we'll see what happens. If this makes a steeper top wick and then re-breaks the low, I'll probably then enter impulsively. But again, it's very early. Stop loss I'll probably keep somewhere here. Safest stops are going to be up here, but you know, you could play it here. How many trades did I take this week? I took, let me see. 1. This day. 2. 3 trades. 3 trades this week. Two wins and 1 break even. Yeah, 15-minute stops is definitely where you want to be keeping stops. No lower than that. See, because if you get a closure below this support here, anything closing back in the support, we know there's something not good, right? That's not a good sign. But now that we haven't closed below this support here, and that there's no candle closing below the support, and we're entering just at impulsively at the break of the low, we don't know. This could close bullish, and you know, it's not giving us any probabilities here, right? But if we make a top wick and then we start to break the lows again, and we can enter on that, then there's a possibility that if we re-break this wick, it can also be a management, right? How many trades do I normally take a week? It depends, but normally like 1 a day on average, I would say. Sometimes if there's no trade, then there's no trade. Sometimes on a day, let's say, I take 2 trades. Maybe one is a loss, but I still trust my idea. I re-enter again. Then that ends up maybe only a break-even day, right? How much percent did I add this week? I'll have to calculate relative to my account because I use fixed lots. So if I use fixed lots, what is that? Around like 4 or 5%. Yeah, there's a weird delay here, man. There's a really weird delay. That's what I'm looking at. How it says that there's no delay on my stream. Let me have a look if I can fix this. But we need to watch GJ here. Need to watch GJ here. Yeah, we'll have a look at crypto in a minute. Just looking at GJ here. So didn't break these lows, rejected. Still nothing. So yeah, I'll have a look at Bitcoin quickly. GJ rejected the lows here. Nothing really happened. It's trying to come back in the range. That's why we have to wait for a closure. Would have been preferred. But having a look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin daily reject. I would encourage you all to see the analysis posted in the Discord. But daily close back in the range here. We need a daily candle closing back outside the range in order for it to make sense for buys. 4 hour has tried to create a support here, but it did not close above the range here. So we need to be very, very careful at that. 1 hour is trying to break down. I think 1 hour does want to come back and retest the lows here. And if it does break these, we could see continuation even lower. This is looking a lot more like a resistance. Morning, Mo. So here's a rejection from GJ here. And that is why we wait for a closure, right? A lot of people would have been triggered on this low here, expecting price to continue, but that's why I wait for closures, because now if I'm holding drawdown in this position, already in a short in Bitcoin, very, very good. Nice job, nice job. I know exactly where your short is. It's a very simple short. You would have shorted either 2 areas. Either you playing it. I think this is your short. Something either this Let's see 15. Or that. Since you follow how it... I think this is your short, right? That's your position, right? Exactly. Early shorts are stuck now. And those who did not wait. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So people who took shorts now they're wondering, oh man, should I close the trade? Now they're holding 8 pip drawdown, and 9 pip drawdown. But if I waited if the price closed below here, I'm not wondering about anything because that was my plan, right? Even if I'm holding drawdown in my plan, I know that most of the time this should play out than not. So I don't mind holding this drawdown. I'm relaxing, right? Yeah, that would be the short. That's a good option. That's a good trade. Makes sense. Morning, Amar. Morning. Gold breaking down here, huh? 15 minute, 5 minute ended up closing. 1 hour broke the lows. Looks like gold wants to drive down towards our target. I'm not really interested at setting the lows. Exactly, Jimmy. Christian, you only sells today on GJ? You lazy, I'm in from 1833. I know, because you trade at like 2 a.m. in the morning. 1833. Nice work. I'm not at the charts at that time. That's 4 a.m. my time, man. What are you doing at 4 a.m.? Way too early. Way too early. Yeah, after this close makes sense. After that close makes sense. Now you're selling the lows. Did this break the lows? Look at this. No, it's not broken the lows. Respect. Yeah, I agree there's an argument for both sides. I mean, after this rejection here, we're seeing this rejection from the lows. If we start closing above this resistance here, there might be opportunities for upside buys here. That's what I'm populating. That's what I am populating. Morning, checkmate chess. Chess player in the chat. Be careful, everyone. What's your favorite opening in chess? Let's see, what is your favorite opening in chess? Alright, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I need the toilet. Do we have a toilet emoji on Tradingview? Does Tradingview have a toilet emoji? We have a house emoji. Don't have a toilet emoji. Plane emoji. Time emoji. If you want signals, go join someone else's stream. No, too early for that. Too early for that. Okay, so what we can see here is that the 15-minute did close bullish at support. Still in this range. Essentially now this is our pre-session range here, and we're not really doing much. We have news in about 15 minutes. So yeah. Let's have a look at GU. What happened with GU? Oh yeah, GU broke down heavy. Very heavy. Daily close below this target. Yeah, GU is almost at target, huh? I'd say in this zone is gonna be target. Yes, Amar is master at selling the lows. Selling lows and buying highs. Mere retail trader he is. I wonder if I have... Let me just see if this... Live chat... Slow mode... No, there's no delay on this stream. So yeah, I think we were kept safe, you know, by waiting for the close below. There's no close below, but if we do end up getting a close below later on, that is definitely an option. But if we do end up respecting the lows and stop breaking above this 4-hour high, this has kind of created liquidity to break this high and potentially give us a better move up before potentially continuing down. But yeah, it's quite tough today, guys. It's quite tough, you know. There is an argument for both sides. Best strategy is martingale strategy, right? It's not a loss until you close. We shall see, we shall see. How's the Bitcoin trade going? Oh, bit slow here. Come on, Bitcoin. Drop. You know, if this daily ends up being a resistance, there's no reason why you can't find yourself to the bottom of the range here. So maybe the position you're actually in, I don't want to influence it. I mean, if you want to take profits, but maybe the position you're in, consider holding a little bit, right? Maybe you could hold a little bit of it. I mean, you'd have to hold stops in the same place because I'm pretty sure Bitcoin will bounce, come back here, and then maybe do that, right? Which then you could look for a second entry. But if it doesn't do this, and you're already in, you can maybe catch it towards the downside. Morning, Zulu Trader. Happy Friday to you as well. Friday, chill day, end of the week. We'll see if we can catch some end of week pips. And then we can enjoy whips and other things on weekends, which I can't announce on YouTube. But what... Yeah, you know, look maybe to close 20% and leave the rest. If you want to experiment with that, if you want to secure the profit, secure it. But you can experiment with that if you can afford to do that. It could be a good position to do that, right? You know, because you're kind of in the beginning of the move. Yeah, big LTA. I mean, your target would be around this wick, right? This is where your first target would be. Like I mean, if your position, you know, that's not a bad move, but if it starts breaking this wick, yeah, you can hold till then. No reason why not. It does make sense. It does make sense. Just depends if this 4 hour, it only depends what it does at these lows here, right? If it respects these lows and does that, then we have an issue. If not, then you're good. You're good. I know you don't use fib, but GJ is struggling at the 618 of the last 4 hour range. Yep. How do I know that? I can see that's a resistance. I don't need to know that's a 6.18. What time is NY session in Dubai? NY session here is at 4:30. I mean 5:30, sorry. Yeah, 5:30. That's NY open. 8:30 a.m. Eastern is 5:30 here. Yesterday we were looking at UK 100, right? And I drew some lines. And I drew those lines on using a fib, right? You can see how it's respecting that line there, right? This was based on fib because we're on all-time highs here. So that now we have a resistance and we're rejecting this line. And this was drawn based off of, right? This is drawn off of fibs. This is the only time you can use fibs. You can see how it respected that very nicely. We drew this line when it was here, like this. If you look at yesterday's stream, it was like that. So that's when fibs become useful, when we're at all-time highs, right? When we're at all-time highs, fibs can become useful. Alright, so we have 4 minutes till news here. And we're still in this range, which is good. We want to see it not trend before news, because that means news we can possibly afterwards, first 5 minutes after news, get a possible position, right? And the position, we'll have to see how it plays out. Either, yeah, it's very, very interesting spot here. Very, very interesting spot. So we'll have to see. These sells could end up playing out here. But this could also be a liquidity grab to continue up and break this 4-hour high. But I want to see this 4-hour high broken. Let's see. What are you guys expecting today? Buys or sells? Let's see. Have you guys been concentrating this week? Today's a tough day. It's a tough day. Buys, alright, yeah, it can make sense. I also populating potential buys above this zone here. If we can get a closure like this, can take buys potentially up to here. Sells can also make sense if breaking below here. Possible to see sells. Yeah, sells also makes sense. Today's mixed. Today's very, very mixed actually. You can argue both sides very, very easily. Right, 1 minute before news, we're seeing some volume here before news. Some volume coming into the markets here. You can start to see the candles moving faster, rejecting harder, moving up faster, rejecting. What do I think? I think it's a bit late for sells on gold. They do make sense. I'd prefer to see a pullback to continue down, right? That's what I would prefer to see. But it's a bit late. We're already selling lows. Sells came very, very early in the morning. But they do make sense, sells. Do you see confirmation on 30 minute or 15? I prefer 15. I like the 15. 30 minutes also good. Whatever the trade makes most sense on. If the trade makes sense on the 30 minute, I'll take it on the 30. If it makes sense on the 15, I'll take it on the 15. If 15 minute, no bottom wick, would you take a buy after closing? With volume, yes. Without volume, no. But you have to consider if it opens up and shoots like 5-6 pips, it's sometimes very hard to take a trade like that, right? Alright, here's news. So we're pushing up. Rejected the highs. Alright, some volume here. I wouldn't recommend taking a breakout. It's very, very risky. And it's not the way I trade. I don't gamble with news. I don't gamble with news. Do I use any volume indicator? No, I don't. I can normally see. You know when there's volume. You know the times that volume comes. It looks like we're pushing up here quite nicely. For me, this is not my trading style. I don't gamble with news. I wait for closures. So if we get a close above here, good. If this thing just starts to drive like this, you can wait for support and then to take the trade, right? Because now if you took the breakout, you're holding drawdown. If this thing just drives, there's nothing we can do about it, you know? Earliest you take a 5-minute close above, you know? That's the earliest. But you see how this keeps going up, pick liquidity, drive down, pick liquidity, drive down. It's not a good sign when you see that. If you wanted to see this just start to push, you know? Could I check gold one more time? Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's dropping here. I mean, if you really want to sell, you can sell. But remember, this is the lows. You're selling the lows. My plan is not to sell the lows. Sells breaking this low, yeah, you can make sense. You can target basically 18, 17, but you don't know when there's a pullback is going to come, right? You know, there's any chance at this point you could be stuck in a pullback. But gold does make sense to, you know, to sell. But you don't want to be stuck in the pullback. That's all I'm saying. Alright, here's a rejection on GJ here. This is why I don't enter breakouts. And today, a lot of people would have lost a lot of money on GJ, right? If you tried to take the breakout here, breaking the lows, lost money. Tried to take this breakout, breaking the highs, now you're down money. You know, be patient. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, I appreciate a like. Always helps. Hate to say it, but it is what it is. What did news come out as? Forecast was minus 0.3, came out way better than expected, which is good for currencies apparently. -0.4%. Minus 0.1 forecast. So yeah, it's showing that that's positive, right? So it means that there's more spending, which is interesting. Very interesting. So this 5-minute looks like it's going to close above here. This would be an early entry, right? You could take this based on this, but this is really barely a closure here. It's barely. I'm gonna wait for the 15. If I missed the trade, I missed the trade. It's Friday. I don't need to push anything. R to R is irrelevant. I use fixed lot size. If I take this trade towards the upside, it would be probably if I enter something like this. My stop I'll keep here. My target is up here. And I'll see. If this 5 minute can close bearish and the next one breaks the high, that would also be a good option. Alright guys, 8 minutes till this closure here. 3 minutes till the 5 minute closure here. I told you guys the plan. You guys know the plan, right? I've told you guys the plan. And now I'm actually going to shut down the stream. And you guys have to have the confidence to take it, right? And this is what's going to be the key about this. So if I end up taking any trades, I'll share that with you guys if it does play out. But you guys know the plan. Have the confidence, right? And execute on the positions we discussed, right? And that's how we're going to take it. And that's the power of these streams, is we discuss. If you have any questions, feel free to message the group, right? And if I do take a trade, I will share it with you guys and you will have a look. And I'll try actually record it, right? I'll try record it and then share that with you guys. So this is the power of these streams. It's not like other streams. You have to build the confidence. Take the trades. And I'll catch you. Enjoy your weekend, guys. And any trades I will share and let you guys know. Take care all. Peace.